I was voted off the board, but yet here it is. Is everybody doing things proper? I don't know. That's why we're going to court. Let's find out in court. Let's see. All right, what's going on, everyone? King here, back with another video. So today, I am back on the property for one reason only, really, is to take a look at the trees. The property has been flooded for some weeks now. It's starting to reside, the water to reside back into the Petey River, but the Petey River is still kind of flooded at this moment. But however, this road here that I'm on, you gotta fight these mosquitoes. But the road that I'm on now, it's not wet, it's dry. So I'm able to pass, go over the bridge, come inside the property. But I'm here to look at the trees and really determine if there's markings on the trees to where a timber company that was given a contract to harvest the timber actually marked the trees that they're going to cut. According to the contract, it's supposed to be 60 acres, plus or minus 60 acres. So, and I went to a meeting that was held in March 25th of 2023 this year. I went to the meeting, the state meeting that is, and got mosquitoes on everywhere. But it was said that the property didn't have to be surveyed, the trees hadn't been marked, or it was on the map, whatever case may be. So I want to see where the timber company actually marked the trees and put up identifying the boundary of the 60 acres that they're going to harvest the timber. Granted, that contract has not been completed, and basically the board, by way of their attorney, said to my attorney that the contract is incomplete, that they stopped it with the legal action, whatever case may be. But still, I want to come on this property and see for myself as to where the timber company had marked the trees that were supposed to be harvested and whatnot. And go from there. But you can see that the water, there's still some water here. That's probably why the mosquitoes are hanging around. There's the water there. So the water was pretty high. I mean, you probably flooded this whole road, and you see there's a lot of overgrowth. There's a lot of overgrowth. You see behind me, a lot of the grass is growing up. Some of the trees are falling down and whatnot. And there's a lot of mosquitoes out here. But nonetheless, so that's my intent, that's my purpose here today, is to walk this property, maybe even drive further up to find out where the property markers are. If the property has been marked, the trees have been marked for harvesting. So thanks for following, thanks for tuning in. So what you're seeing right now is where one of the tubings are. Really can't see it because there's a lot of overgrowth. Again, this is from the flooding, so you see a little bit of the black tubing that's sticking out right there. But this part wasn't flooded in the recent weeks prior to the Petey River getting flooded due to the rain that came in here. But this is one area of the road that was washed out in 2017-18 time frame. So you can see there's a lot of overgrowth, a lot of new growth from the water being on the road, for flooding this area. So a lot of wild brushes, or some of the grass and trees and everything else is starting to sprout here. So the water's been sitting in this area probably for a couple weeks now, at least 2-3 weeks, maybe in a month. And this is the other side of the road here. You see the black tubing there. Here you can see a lot of the concrete blocks, inner blocks, was part of the road. I guess when they constructed the road, this was left over, maybe from the bridge or wherever the case may be. Maybe when the road had flooded and collapsed at one point prior to 2017-18. Fallen logs, fallen trees. Again, this road was flooded. You saw my last video when I was back on my property. I couldn't barely get to the bridge. Now, one video that I was able to get through, the tires on the property, old tires, it's like from trucks or tractors or something. All this got to be cleaned up. You definitely need to come in and preserve this property, but it's got to get past this legal issues, resolve the legal issues. So what I'm gonna do now is, instead of trying to fight these mosquitoes, I'm gonna get in a vehicle and drive further up the road. What was that? Drive further up the road and still looking for markings on trees to where the timber company had marked the trees for cutting. I'm not sure if this can show up good in the video, but there's water down there just sitting on down there. Again, this part of the area was flooded from the Petey River. So you see how far inland the water came from the Petey River, or just from the storm itself, but water just sitting and causing more of the trees to rot and fall down. A lot more overgrowth due to the rain and flooding. This is probably one of the other areas that was repaired when the road was damaged due to flooding in 2017-18 timeframe. So I'm gonna look for the markings for where the timber company is supposed to have marked the trees, identifying where they're going to cut the trees down, harvest the timber. But yeah, I get to see any markings other than, you know, this placard here that was put up probably by the game warden. But I don't see any kind of markings. I mean, I don't even know what the markings look like, you know. I don't know, but we're gonna find out. So I'm gonna walk. So you might walk back here and see what I find. Someone leaving beer cans and Arizona cans here. No respect for the property, just dumping their trash on the property. So I'm gonna look for markings. I don't know if that's a marking there. Has the pink tape there. I don't know what that is. I don't even think so, because we got pink right there too. So that's probably not even markings. But I'm gonna go back here for a minute and check if I don't see anything. And then I'm gonna wrap up this video and call it a day, because these mosquitoes are pretty bad out here. Yeah, it seems to be like definitely got a lot more branches that are falling off the trees, or trees falling, period. I don't know, from the storms, from the water, or just, I don't know what's going on. Definitely time to get this property cleaned up. I'm gonna tell you time and time again, but until we resolve the legal issues, and you know, no timber company should come on this property, or any kind of property, without one, proper authorization from the landowners, and that landowner or landowners have to have their names on a clear title on a deed to the property. If they don't, then you can't. No reputable company will come out here and do it. Those that might be, you know, doing things under the table, hoping and praying and wishing that they don't get caught, that's one thing, but they're going to abide by the rules and laws. They won't come to the property and cut timber without having a clear title to the property. Just like before you sell your home or land, right? The real estate company and lawyers and everybody else got to make sure that there is a clear title to the property. That you have the right to sell that land, that you are the owner of that property before it can be sold. Make sure there's no liens against the property. Same thing here. But this being an heir property, everybody has a say in it. Not just one person. not just one family, but that one person and one family has the right to preserve and take their interest in the property. Is that a boat? Yeah, there's a boat. You can't see it right there. Maybe you can see a glimpse of it. And she's by. Boat right there. I don't see how they do it, man. Mosquitoes everywhere. Unless you got wearing long shirts and got spray, because mosquitoes out here are bad. I don't see no markings on the trees to where this is where they're going to cut. Even though it was identified on the so-called map they provided, it was provided with the contract. I still got to question it. I still got to question the legitimacy of that contract. I'm going to question it. You know, in court proceedings, court hearings, court documents, I'm going to question it. I'm going to challenge the board, and it makes no sense. I mean, they want to remove me from the board. They want to so-called say that I was removed because I was being disrespectful, or, you know, whatever the case may be. That I received my notice was when I served the board with the cease and desist letter back in November of 2021. But that's because they were trying to move trailers on the property and do things without following the bylaws and following the laws of the land. These mosquitoes are killing me. Dang. So that's that. But to say that, oh, no, you received your notification when you served with that letter from your lawyer. Really? What does Robert's Rules say? What does the bylaws say? The proper way of doing it. Even then, every person deserves a day in court. So if I'm alleged to have done something illegal and unethical or violate the bylaws, guess what? Bring me forth to the meeting and let's discuss it. Just because you feel that way doesn't mean to be true. All right? Feelings are feelings and facts are facts, and the truth is the truth. Especially when you have rules and laws that are governing what's supposed to be done. Again, what was the reason why we went to court? What was the reason why the first lawsuit happened? Because people were not following the rules and laws. But yet, those people that initiated the legal action, started this legal fight, did they have the right to do so? For one. But yet, it was discovered that they themselves violated the rules and laws. They themselves were engaged in conduct that was questionable, or actions that were questionable, management decisions that were questionable. But yet here we are, and people are mad because I'm bringing forth a lawsuit to resolve the legal issues. Well, it needs to be done. When the lawyers and judges tell you what to do, advise you what to do, and you don't listen, hey, don't get mad. This is where the cemetery is. This is where I put the purple paint up and the yellow tape, caution tape. It doesn't look like it's holding up too much due to the weather. Maybe someone came in here and removed the tape that was along this part right here, but nonetheless, this is where some of the original owners and their family members are buried. But yeah, the reason I came out here is to look and see if there's any markings on the trees as to where the timber company that was going to have the contract to harvest the timber had marked the trees, identifying that border, the 60 acres border, as to where they're going to cut the timber. I mean, I don't know what kind of markings it should be. It should be like tape, it should be some kind of industrialized, industrials type paint, spray paint, whatever, like I did, or marking the trees with purple paint. I don't know, but I don't see them. I don't see anywhere the trees were marked for harvesting. So, for the contract, it says a certain area, but I don't see it marked. And, looking through my research and as far as how to harvest timber, what should be done, what are rules and laws, the South Carolina Forestry Commission says that, hey, the boundaries should be marked, right? As well as have property markings. So knowing your boundaries, knowing your property boundaries, as well as the boundaries for where you're going to cut timber, where the timber's going to be harvested. So if it's along that road I was on originally, right, that's just, I would say, east of the PD River, then it should be marked, right? Not every tree, but at least somewhere identifying the boundary, even on a map. It's not clearly defined on a map, but nonetheless, that's why I'm out here. To pay attention to see what's going on, and not just take everybody's word for it and saying things are getting done. But again, I was voted off the board. You know, I was voted off the board, but yet here it is. Is everybody doing things proper? I don't know. That's why we're going to court. Let's find out in court. Let's see. Right? Again, you know, the U.S. court system is not a justice system per se. It's an adversarial system. So may the best man, woman, person, whoever, party, defendant, plaintiff win. That's the way I see it. If I'm doing wrong, if I was doing wrong, if I violate any rules and laws, then I'll be held accountable. Same goes for everybody else, family or not. I mean, you heard what my grandmother said, you watched my video, or even you've seen the video where I talk about Papa Sim when he was in the article, when he was being interviewed for the paper, and he said, the now generation, which was probably my grandmother's generation, or, you know, her grandchildren's generation, her children's generation, my mother's generation, don't think of the right things. And this man was born in 1870. How many years after slavery? Nearly 10, 13 years after slavery, and died in 1978 at the age of 100 years old. And Papa Jimmy was my grandfather's father, died that same year. I think he was at 80 or 90 years old. I think he was born in, according to his birth certificate, I think it was 1888. But here we are. So nonetheless, we're going to wrap up this video. Call it a day. Mosquitoes out here pretty bad. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and leave a comment. See you in another video. Take care. Peace.